First question we have is from Allison. Allison, thank you so much. And the question is, what is your best street conversation?
Boom. I have been so blessed to have experienced a ton of incredible, beautiful conversations, but one that always stands out in my mind, I'm sure that I've shared it, Peter, on this program before. It was a conversation I had a couple of years ago with a young woman who was a construction worker. I talked to her late in the evening. I feel like it was like a 7:30 p.m. choice chain or something here in Calgary. She had just gotten off her construction shift. And she told me how she had had an abortion a few years previous, and she had been new to the University of Calgary. She moved into the dorm. She didn't really know anyone. She got drunk at a party and was sexually assaulted at this party, became pregnant, and was just so ashamed of herself, this small town girl who had come to the big city. And within the first few months of her being there, she was pregnant. And so she didn't go to the cops. She didn't go to her parents. She didn't go to anyone other than the abortion facility. And we had an incredible, maybe 45-minute conversation about where she was at, the support that she needed, all that kind of thing. By the end of the conversation, not only did she agree that abortion was a human rights violation, did she come to regret abortion? And I was able to connect her with Silent No More Awareness campaign, but also she wanted to get involved for how she could use her experience to help other people make a different decision so that they did not choose abortion for their children. Just a beautiful, beautiful conversation with a woman that I could not have anticipated where the conversation was going to go. And God was so good and guiding me and her through that conversation. And now we have somebody who is pro-life, who has sought healing for her abortion decision, and is now helping other people not choose abortion. So a pretty good one. And that always stands out to me because I was terrified when I entered the conversation. I had no idea what to say when she first brought that up, but God is good, and he made for a wonderful conversation. So that's one that stands out in my mind. Peter, what about you?
Yeah, that's a great conversation, sir. And when I think about this question, it's actually pretty hard because there are so many different types of conversations. I'll just share two right now. I may have shared them on the program before because they're the type of conversations that just stick out in your mind and you remember them far more than all the others. I was at a high school once and I had this conversation with a student, and he was totally against what I had to say at first, very opposed to the message that abortion ends the life of a human being, and opposed to the fact that we were coming to his high school with images of that great injustice. But at the end of the conversation, he had a complete turnaround. He fully understood where we were coming from, and he agreed with where we were coming from, so much so that he became an apologist for me at his school. During the lunch hour that we were there, he was calling his peers and friends and telling them to come talk to me. And he's like, go talk to that guy. He's going to change your mind on abortion. And he's going to have a really good conversation. And you're going to see that abortion, ends the life of a baby. Which is really sweet because often you have a conversation. If you change someone's mind, they go their way. You never really see them again. But this was an opportunity. I mean, he like just totally flipped his position on the topic, and then pulled everyone who was willing to come to me and have that conversation so that I could change their minds as well. So that was a pretty sweet conversation. I'll never forget that. The second one, Cam, was along similar lines. I talked to an older gentleman by the name of John, and he recalled to me in the conversation through tears. He was weeping a lot after he saw the images of what we were showing, and he recalled to me that he had coerced or got his girlfriend or wife, I can't remember that detail at the time, 30 to 35 years ago to have two abortions. And he was weeping 30 to 35 years later. And he said that he thought about that time in his life almost every single day, and he felt guilt over it every single day. And so we went to the side, we went away from the images, we sat down for a little bit, and just had a conversation about the healing that was available, about the help that was available, about the support that was available, about how the feelings that he was having were not uncommon. And it wasn't, just sort of crazy that he was having those feelings, but it was natural in light of what abortion actually is. We talked about the hope that was in Jesus, and I pointed him in the right direction. We were able to pray together, which was wonderful. And he seemed to be doing significantly better after that conversation, probably a 30 to 35 or 40-minute conversation as well. It took a good amount of time out of the choice chain display that we were having, but it was a super good and super meaningful conversation where This guy for so many years didn't know how to comprehend the feelings and the guilt that he had. And we were able to work through them as we talked together. So those are two for me. There are a lot of conversations, some along the same lines, some not. But yeah, that's what I would answer for best street conversation. So thank you so much, Allison, for asking that question. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Pro-Life Guys podcast. If you want to learn more about the abortion war, if you want to hear some great conversations that we have with some of our pro-life heroes, or if you want to learn apologetics, how you can winsomely and effectively and compassionately have conversations on abortion so that you too can see someone change their mind and see lives saved, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our new content.